All right, so the first video that we were watching for React Andy tonight is going to be another SireK0zy video. SireK0zy is somebody we are kind enough to call an actual friend of the community. They show up like once a week, sometimes twice. They're a very, very kind, down-to-earth human being that we love to talk to. So now, more than ever, make sure you click that link that just showed up in the Twitch chat. If you're in the YouTube, it'll be down in the description below, to like and subscribe to this video to support the official release of the video and support this wonderful creator. Today's video that they have released is talking about all versions of the clown. SireK0zy loves to do videos like this where they go back and look at the history of a character, and this time we're doing the clown, which is a very, very divisive figure, mostly because it introduced pop to the game, and also there's a lot of like accessibility issues having to do with like the gas and how it makes people nauseous. So very, very controversial character. So let's go ahead and look at this video.
Chapter 8 killer behavior had two different ideas. The first one was a World War I soldier with gas grenades, and the second one was a clown who could throw balloons which revealed the auras of nearby survivors and allowed him to teleport to them. Both concepts were considered interesting, and in order to get the best out of both worlds,
they kind of
combined them into one and created a clown who throws gas grenades. Well, maybe not exactly grenades, because these are just bottles filled with some kind of homebrew toxin, but the game files refer to them as gas bombs, so shut the
Really?
fuck up.
Does it?
Some whip names for
I didn't
the
know that.
clown were the Ringmaster and the Medicine Man, but all of them were eventually scratched in favor of the clown because he's a clown, and behavior is a company of very creative people apparently. The first time the community had a glimpse of the new killer was, no, not on the PTB, but rather through postcards giving to attendees of PAX East 2018.
Interesting.
The PTB for the clown came out 2 months after this, and this is where the survivors' hate for this character started. Why? Denying pallets, denying windows.
I think it's kind of funny too, because like, this was an archetype that would go to like show itself in DBD a lot. It was like, clown's not particularly that great of a killer, especially old clown. Old clown didn't even have his yellow bottles. So he was even weaker, like substantially weaker. So he's a weak killer, but he's simultaneously really obnoxious and always like typically not a good time to go against. Reminds you somebody else is getting a rework soon, huh? So I just think it's funny that this caused this whole archetype of like, yeah, I may not be even B tier, but like, man, can I be obnoxious? I also like Cloud. Cloud's probably one of my favorite M1 killers. I love like going into like the like, okay, I'm gonna put my yellow bottle here so I'm fast. I'm gonna put the purple bottle there so you're slow, and now I barely get this M1. Chef's kiss. It's literally one of my favorite M1 killers. But I do understand that, like, you know, there's a lot of accessibility issues with like people getting nauseous against him and the actual like chlorophobia. So yeah.
Pinky finger, can't see anything, ugly. Pinky finger, laughs in your face. Pinky finger. Though to be fair, the release playing as the clown was no less annoying. First of all, according to the patch notes, the original version of the clown had, and I'm gonna
Clown is the real chess of DBD.
unresponsive projectile
I like
throwing
that.
interaction. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the hell behavior meant by this weird corporate speak, but since the only projectiles the clown has are his bottles, I guess there used to be some sort of a delay between pressing M2 and seeing the clown actually throw a bottle. But the problem is that when I went to patch 2.3.3 in order to see for myself how it used to work back in the day, I found absolutely zero difference.
I use Prego so much that
that
just looks so weird watching the bottles float normally.
I have just no idea what's different here. I have no idea what's different in this patch. It just looks the same to me. Like, you tap the button and oh my god, I missed. You just tap the button and the bottle goes. Are you gonna vote? Oh, you didn't vote. Yeah, no, it kind of looks the same to me.
Old movement,
It literally just looks the same to me. Maybe I need to do like a frame-by-frame
Cloud
comparison.
does have one of the best weapon wipe animations in the game still to this day.
The fact that I would have to do that in order to spot the difference, I think it just means that there's no difference. There's a huge chance that this is just me being stupid and missing something super obvious. So if you know exactly what the devs meant by unresponsive projectile throwing, definitely let me know in the comments. Wow, what a smooth comment bait. Everybody's totally gonna fall for this. On top of this, the old clown had several other, more noticeable drawbacks. One of them was a little speed penalty after throwing bottles.
It is really satisfying.
Not while charging bottles, not after canceling them, but after actually throwing them. Yeah, you're done for here. Oh yeah, I think there is a little bit of a slowdown.
Old gas heaven.
Why didn't you drop it? You
What a pretty map.
silly thing. Yeah, there's a little bit of a slowdown. Let me see. Yeah, for like about like
Yeah, that is
0.3
weird.
or like
I do see
0.5
that.
second. I think I'm
Why would
I think I'm
why?
becoming like a 4.0 killer, or maybe even
Yeah,
less. I'm
why?
not sure. I don't want to be
For
too
what reason?
dramatic and pretend that it made him completely unplayable, but it certainly gave survivors more time to get rid of
Yeah,
the
there's definitely no
hindered status
reason for
effect
it.
and
It's
reach
just
the
needless.
pallet. Another issue of the old clown was his obnoxiously long reloading animation. Before the rework in 2021, it used to last a full 5 seconds.
Ugh.
All right, I'm just resetting the timer and count, I guess.
1, 2, 3.
All right, perfect.
People didn't know where you were. Kraken, do you know how many people that I still see only run the purple bottles in 2023? Like, they literally never ever switch over. There are so many people that pretend like he's still like 2020 clown. It is just like the weirdest thing. Like, the yellow bottles are so advantageous for you as this character, and people will refuse to use them. I just... Oh, it makes me so mad. It makes me so angry.
Stop.
5:47. Well,
That's
it's not
awful.
exactly 5, but I mean,
That's
it's
gross.
close to 5, so I guess we can just take it. And if as a clown main, this fact didn't just make you want to cry like it's your first time getting bullied by a
Legitimate
flashlight
clowns are playing like
squad, that's
2020?
probably because
Why
you
would
have
you
no
just leave all
soul,
that on the
or because
table?
you
I don't
simply
understand. That's
forgot
like half
that
your
while
base kit you're just not
reloading,
even
the game
utilizing.
actually slows you down a lot to 1.61 meters per second if you want the exact number. And being this slow for 5 seconds,
Didn't have a delayed
Well, let's
effect.
just
Well, they
say-
would. I think they would be too good if they just went off immediately. And honestly, you can play around the delayed effect if you're good. You need to like just be aware and master the timing of when the yellow gas becomes active, and then it's not a problem. So no, I don't think that's particularly the issue, Pixel. I think it's just people, yeah, like you can learn the timing on that. So yeah, exactly. It's part of his skill expression. So I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
wasn't the most pleasant experience, especially meat chase, because if the survivor you were after was not a
Also,
complete
I think
baby-
another thing to consider, Pixel, is like if you make the yellow gas immediate, that also makes it easier for the survivors to use, which is concerning, right? Because if it just popped up immediately and you get it and you guys are going around the loop, it's possible the survivor will also get to it quicker. So it's kind of like something you got to think about.
they would most definitely use this time as a free getaway ticket. Let's see if I can. No, I think this is too safe.
These loops are
Okay,
still on
whatever.
McMillan. They're still
Now go
pretty good.
somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Oh my God! Please, that's so long.
That's what she said.
That's how much distance I give you.
Sorry, that was
apparently.
immature. My apologies.
Man, imagine if this version of the game actually had made for this. I probably wouldn't be able to catch you.
Yeah, Rip made for this.
Never.
Deserved.
And unlike today, you wouldn't be able to quickly make up for the lost distance by speeding yourself up using the afterpiece antidote, colloquially known as simply yellow bottles. Because back then there was no such thing as yellow bottles. So minus bloodlust and a bunch of other perks which affect the killer's movement speed, there was pretty much no way the clown could move faster than a standard 4.6 meters per second. The lack of afterpiece antidote also had a negative impact on the clown's map control, because without the invigoration effect from the yellow bottles, he was as good at this as the Trapper, or any other M1 killer for that matter.
He was
and
very
here's
weak.
the final nail to the coffin, just in case some of you people still feel nostalgic about the original clown. Sometimes his bottles used to explode in your hand right as you were about to throw them. Like
I remember
randomly, without
this.
any reason,
I remember
just because
this.
the devs couldn't
I remember this
restrain their own
problem.
spaghetti
I remember this
cooking, didn't
problem.
thoroughly test it for possible bugs before pushing it on the live servers. I'm not sure. I mean, let's try really low, like this. Well, you might as well just explode.
I remember
in my
watching
hand.
videos
Bro,
about this and going
old
like, what's
clown,
happening? And having no
and this
idea.
bug wasn't that uncommon too. Oh no. I actually ran into it like 10 times over about 30-40 minutes of gameplay. It was really pissing me off because we were recording the footage for this video and it just kept getting in the way of whatever we were trying to test. And mind you, those were just custom games with my friend, i.e. completely controlled environment where if something goes wrong, you can always just redo it. In a real match, all you could do was just pray that it doesn't happen to your last bottle, because otherwise, 5-second long reloading, remember? The only positive thing about the release version of the clown I can think of is the effect his bottles used to produce after breaking against elevated surfaces. You know this thing when your bottle bottle hits a tree or a wall or basically anything that's not floor, and the toxin cloud bursts into several smaller chunks which get scattered around and prevent survivors from taking the optimal path in the loop. Well, the way it used to work originally was much stronger, because instead of the firework-like effect, the toxin used to fall down as a huge cloud which covered the entire tile and made it
that's
really
very good,
impossible
yeah.
to avoid the slowdown effect. And the higher you threw the bottle, the more area the toxin covered, to the point that one bottle was enough to deny survivors the cow tree or harvesters on the farm maps. Can you try and hit the spot so that it actually covers the entire loop? Like the whole the whole loop, including the window and the pallet.
Brother,
Oh, yeah,
that's so crazy.
Oh my god. Look at this toxin dome. What the?
That's I literally made a hi, I'm lurking, and you're still like, I'm gonna waste my nothing.
I cannot
Powerful.
vault, man.
Powerful.
You actually got the entire, like, both sides of the loop. With all this said about the old clown's ability, I can't help but mention the situation with his add-ons. The thing is that most of them were pretty much the same as their present-day counterparts, which is honestly quite surprising for a killer that went through a rework. If you download DBD 2.3.3 from my Discord, the link is gonna be in the description.
Hey, good plug,
and
good
browse
plug.
through the add-ons the clown had at that time yourself, you'll have trouble recognizing only 8 items. That is Robin Feather, which used to reduce the cooldown between bottle throws, thick cork stopper and fingerless parade gloves, which used to speed up reloading, VHS, you know what, I'm not gonna say this word because I want to keep monetization, which used to increase the movement speed while reloading, solving job, which used to make survivors coming into contact with your toxin exhausted, garish makeup kit, which used to increase the area covered by the toxin and made the intoxication effect last longer, and cigar box, which is a variation of the previous add-on, but instead of making intoxication last longer, it used to increase the vision blurriness after getting intoxicated. Now, if you understand something about DBD, I shouldn't probably explain to you that back then running either garish makeup kit or cigar box was one of the dirtiest things you could do as the clown. But I mean, good thing that you couldn't combine these add-ons and turn your clown into the ultimate chase machine, which would be absolutely immune to looping because of the infinite slowdown and compromised vision. Oh wait, you could do that because the description of both add-ons.
You made me do it. I didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here. I'm reacting. I'm doing my thing.
Survivors hate the new killer. I don't want any corn. Yeah, this is a perfect spot.
Sounds like somebody just wants attention.
Hit me. What? Yeah, there you go. Oh no! Oh, what? And it's still going. Hello.
Ew.
What?
I don't like that.
Bro. It's like, bro, I literally got intoxicated IRL. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's
not
good.
There were 2 completely unique add-ons that can no longer be found in the clown's blood web. Ether 5 volume % and Ether 10 volume %. And guess what they used to do? A, make intoxication last longer. B, make intoxication last longer.
I give tests,
C,
not
make intoxication
tests.
last longer. And D, make intoxication last longer. Of course it used to make intoxication last longer. I mean, what else could it be?
Distortion effect removed? Like literally nobody.
Have 2 add-ons with this obnoxious
the distortion effect is not needed.
Let's
it's just
add
not.
more. Among the remaining add-ons, I can't help but mention the infamous Finky Pinger, which makes survivors directly hit by a bottle one-shot until the intoxication effect wears off. Ever since the release of the Curtain Call DLC, this add-on has been getting tons of hate, and I'm sure that even the most dedicated clown mains are
make
not
my
gonna
head
play
hurty?
stupid
I just don't know
and
why
pretend
there's a
they
reason
don't
for the
understand
distortion at all.
Because it's just morally wrong to make survivors exposed while also taking their ability to move so that
Before they get into like the pinky finger stuff, like literally like it's like the dredge thing with like Nightfall and like squinting and hurting my eyes. It's like I get that the point is like the survivor's supposed to be distorted. Like the survivor is supposed to be like impaired, right? But why do I, the real life person in real life playing the video game, have to be nauseous and distorted? It's fine to be like, okay, well, we're doing some immersive thing for the video game, but I, in real life, should not be receiving the effects that the survivor in the game is feeling. You know, if the survivor's being stabbed by a knife, I should not be feeling like I am being stabbed by a knife, and that extends to like the clown's distortion as well. Like I shouldn't also have to deal with that. Like it's okay to simulate it, but don't make me feel it in real life. Like it's like I don't know. Yeah, exactly. You can do something with the animations or something like that, but like not on the screen. Like it's just like
they couldn't even try to dodge the hit. These days, Pinky Finger at least gives clowns a massive debuff, reducing the maximum number of their bottles to 1, which makes it running without cheap gin bottle for 2 extra bottles completely non-viable.
No.
Unless, of course, you want to play the reloading simulator. But back in the day, Pinky Finger had absolutely no negative properties, which means that the very same combination of add-ons used to give you 6 insta-down bottles. Can't wait to see this. Literally just cannot wait to see
Icky.
this. Come on, come on. 6 bottles. 6 bottles, bro!
Yeah, I'm so glad they
Get over here.
started limiting exposed add-ons.
You might as well just start running away from me, because
Yeah, it's
you're
disgusting.
gonna need some distance. All right. You know what I just realized is that I actually get to slow you down before.
That is true. You could slow them down and then go for the direct hit. That's gross. That's dirty.
Why would you? Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Wow, I totally hit that, bro.
That's so cheap.
Come on. There you fucking go.
Just messed up like 12 times because they're slow to
you
eventually get it. That's so dumb.
On both sides, mind you. Survivors hated him because he sucked all the fun out of chases.
Yep.
And killers because despite being quite a threat in 1v1 scenarios, when it came to 4v1, he played like a typical M1 pushover. But
Hey, that sounds a lot like a specific killer that's getting reworked, huh?
despite all the negative feedback from the community, the devs seem to be 100% satisfied with the job they did with their new killer. I mean, how else can you explain that for almost 2 years since the clown's release, his power had only 2 minor tweaks, none of which addressed the actually important issues the community was complaining about. The first tweak increased, I'm gonna say this again,
the responsiveness of projectile throwing,
also known as imaginary non-existent bullcrap. And the second one completely got rid of the slowdown after throwing bottles to make sure that the game doesn't punish you for simply using your ability.
Yeah,
Are
which
you sure you want to actually try it here? Oh, wow. I feel like so much more agile. Bro, what the f were you doing?
Their best, okay? They're doing their best.
Bamboozle this. I feel like so much more agile in this version. Are you gonna... Alright, whatever. Bro, I'm not slowing down. There's nothing you can do. And slow down even more. Can you reach that?
Yeah.
Of course you can. But, bro, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's the ugly
It
HD
feels like
palettes.
so much better to play.
You.
Naturally, these humble steps were not enough to make people love the clown. The situation called for much more serious measures, namely a full-on rework, which the devs actually released about half a year later in patch 4.5.0. The first thing this patch addressed was the clown's long reloading animation.
Yeah.
The patch notes claim that it went from 5 seconds to 3, which is impressive. Or should I say would be impressive if this was actually true. The thing is that according to the devs, reloading is considered finished as soon as the game hot updates the bottle counter, which takes exactly 3 seconds from the moment you press control on your keyboard, or whatever the f you console gamers have to press. However, after the rework, the counter started updating 1 second earlier than the reloading animation finished, meaning that you had to wait 1 extra second before you could throw bottles and walk at full speed again. So yes, behavior. The reloading animation of the new clown lasts 4 seconds and not 3.
Oh, so it's only
like you
1
said.
second better.
I'll just
That's funny.
throw all of them away again. Like this, hitting control and spamming M2. The counter updated.
Oh, so there's a
but
big
look,
delay before you can throw. I see.
I literally just had to wait a couple of more seconds. Why? Why did you... What? Is this a joke?
Nope.
Why do you update the counter so early?
Hey, Sylvie.
If I still
see you, friend.
have no access to
Hope your
bottles.
Tuesday's treating you well.
Next, the devs significantly weakened the effect from the bottles hitting elevated surfaces. From now on, they no longer created this toxic dome around the tile and instead covered several small chunks of area around it. Not sure if it was done because behavior thought that this feature was too strong or because it was never supposed to be a thing in the first place.
Yeah, it's technically
but in
a 1
any
second
case,
buff.
As a survivor main, I don't miss it one bit. Okay. I cannot aim, apparently. There you go. Did it slow you down?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
let's try again. Let's try again. There you go. Touch one of the clouds. Touch one of the clouds. Okay.
Yeah, they spaced it out.
Does it slow you down just like when I do this? Same?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I guess it still works. But most importantly, in this patch, the clown finally received his yellow bottles with
Which
the
people
speed
don't
up
use for
effect,
some reason.
which drastically increased the dynamics of his gameplay.
Every clown match review that we've had on the Mondays, one of the takeaways is always use your yellow bottles or learn how to use your yellow bottles. Like that's a takeaway that happens every single match review. It's, I don't know why you wouldn't use half of your base kit, but whatever.
Allowing him to quickly traverse the map and apply pressure even on the faraway gens. Overall, a great addition to the clown's base kit, but I wouldn't be myself if I didn't find something to complain about here. First of all, having to constantly switch between the two types of bottles is just
Appear instantly. We were talking about that earlier, Sylvie, but like, you think you want that, but that would also make it easier for the survivors to run through it, because you gotta remember that both you and the survivors can utilize the effect. So it's probably better that it delays.
Accidentally gave the survivor a free speed boost instead of slowing them down.
Imagine that if that was instant.
Oh, good job, bro.
Do at least use them for map ability? They don't even do that. They don't even do that.
Why does the effect from
Should at least use it for that.
take so much time to kick in? It's like you throw
Well, it's like what I'm talking about.
Appears, but when you walk through it, nothing.
Well, like exactly what happened to answer that, Cozy, is like you just showed. Even with the delayed aspect of the bottle, you were like, you know, you would end up running the survivor back into it, and that would give them the speed boost as well. So you got to be careful about that.
Happens because apparently you didn't drop the bottle far enough, and now you have to stand in the cloud like an idiot waiting for it to activate. And I know that for the most part it's just a skill issue, which gets resolved as soon as you learn that you can increase the throwing distance of a bottle by holding it longer.
Yeah.
But what do I do on the closed maps where there's walls everywhere and there's physically no way to throw a bottle farther than a few meters? There's a bunch of like small...
I don't think that's necessarily like an awful problem, because every character has like issues based on, you know, certain maps, right? Like, for example, like we're on RPD, right? RPD is like very, very obnoxious for like ranged killers like Huntress, because you can't hit people super far away because there's walls everywhere. So we wouldn't like buff Huntress to be able to hatchet people through walls just because she's bad on RPD, right? Versus like stealth killers on like an outdoor map. Like, you wouldn't make them like their stealth power like more strong and more powerful just because they're on an outdoor map. You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't think that's the biggest problem in the world, because there's just going to be characters that are good on certain maps and bad on others, and I don't think it's necessarily like, if a character is too map dependent, I think it's an issue. But having certain like deficits because you're on a certain map as a certain character is not like the worst thing in the world.
Rooms here which are just crazy. Like, look at this. How on earth are you actually supposed to use your yellow bottles here so that they have like enough time to activate? Like, I swear.
I mean, like, here, yes. Here you don't. But like out in the courtyard, out in the main hall, like, yeah, you can. You know, so there's even parts of this map that you can use.
Walk through it. I mean, I guess you could just go in the next room, like, and drop it here, and like here it's probably gonna have enough space. Yeah. But what if you actually want to do it here? Like, you just get inside, like, drop it there.
Yeah, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing.
I didn't even touch it. Like, what is this, man? But map control is not the only purpose of yellow bottles. They can also be used to gain an advantage in chases. The trick here is that the speed boost from yellow bottles also applies to survivors. But here's the catch. If the survivor touches both a yellow and a pink cloud, the effects from them will cancel each other out, leaving them with their default movement speed. So what you can do is throw a yellow bottle on the one side of the
because powers aren't meant to be used in all spaces, right? Like powers aren't meant to be used in all spaces consistently. That's just not how Dead by Daylight's designed. Like, like that's just not a thing. So I don't think this is like actually a pain point, because some powers are helpful at certain loops in certain areas of the map, some aren't in others. You know, it's just kind of how it goes.
And chase the survivors so that they run through both of the clouds.
That's Nurture Spirit, yeah, and that's why they're the best in the game.
Speed boost. Meanwhile, you're actually gonna become faster, because as the killer, you're completely immune to the slowdown from the pink bottles, and that's how you catch up with survivors and hit them even in some pretty safe loops. And yellow bottle goes. Pink bottle goes.
This is what I love about Clown. It's so fun.
Both get invigorated. No, I need to hug the walls. Okay, come on.
This is the best feeling stuff.
Didn't
This
make
is
it.
why
You
Clown is one of my
literally
favorite
just
one
didn't
killers.
make it. Oh my god.
When you barely clutch that
actually
hit, it
worked.
feels so good.
Last
It's
but
so
not
satisfying.
least, this patch also revisited some of the Clown's add-ons. Several of them were simply rebalanced, while several more were either completely overhauled or even replaced with the new add-ons in order to match the new power of the Clown. Surprisingly though, one of the Clown's most problematic add-ons, namely Pinky Finger, was completely ignored in this patch. It remained absolutely unchanged for one more year. After reaching patch 5.5.0, the devs made it reduce the maximum number of
Thought you
bottles
hated
by
Clown?
2.
Why do you think I hated
Apparently, it
Clown?
wasn't enough, because about 6 months
I don't
ago,
like
it was
facing
nerfed
Clown
one
too
more
much.
time, and now it decreases the number of bottles
Did
by
I ever
3.
imply that I
Did
hated
it
playing
make
this
this
one?
add-on less popular? I wouldn't say so, because somehow every other Clown I see on the European servers still runs it. And let me tell you, going versus it feels barely any better than before. For me personally, the Clown has always been and always
Dodge
will
effect the
be
bottles?
one of
Yeah,
the
there's no reason for
least
that to
fun
really be in
killers
the
to
game
go
anymore, to be
against.
honest.
And at this point, this opinion
they
is
should just
very
remove that.
unlikely to change. Unless, of course, the devs are gonna rework him again and turn him from an anti-loop killer to a catch-up killer, similar to the Hillbilly or Demogorgon. But even despite my
confused versus
dislike
someone
for this
else's? Yeah.
character, I can't deny
Probably.
his contribution
'Cause,
to
like,
shaping the
he's always been a
landscape
fun
of
M1
modern
killer for
Dead
me.
by Daylight. After all, it was him who introduced Bamboozle and Pop Goes
Because
the
of
Weasel,
the,
both of which had a
that-
significant
that-
impact on how the game.
Okay, we're gonna stop it right there because Cozy always ends their videos without an outro, so it just abruptly ends. Yeah, I think Cloud's one of my favorite M1 killers. I think they're super fun because of that scenario that they just showed off, where you're putting the yellow bottle there, the purple bottle there, and then you're like barely clutching the hit. That stuff's super exciting. And I think the character needs to have like some accessibility changes. First and foremost, like actual chlorophobia, maybe a setting that makes him just a default skin or something that's not that. And also first and probably the most prevalent is the nausea effect, like the motion sickness that people are getting by going through the clouds. That needs to, they need to like get rid of that. That's archaic. It was a neat little idea, but it didn't work out. So that should go. That definitely should go. That way people can actually play against the character. Otherwise, I think Clown's in a pretty alright spot, to be honest. Like, I feel like Clown's one of those characters that if you, at least based on where he is now, if you make him any stronger, he becomes too strong. If you make him any weaker, he's kind of useless. So you kind of have to, he's kind of fine where he is, and he should stay the way he is. We just need to tackle those accessibility issues so he's actually like, literally not nauseating to play against. Literally not nauseating to play against.